As we were hiking in the foothills, we came across this cross with a bunch of stones. I don't know if this was put here in the 1800s and someone was buried up here, but it's just a side to show you that a lot of people visit this hill, and it serves kind of as a memorial to some of the early pioneers back in the day who settled in this valley or journeyed on this hill to enter into the Sierra Nevada mountain range. This is the area, somewhere in here is the area where it landed. I know because I can judge from my house, but we need to find burnt brush, snow melted in an area, circular. It's a circular-like object, so it's going to leave a circular impression. Maybe some burnt rocks. Hard to say. What'd you find? Anything? Huh? Any kind of burnt brush would be good, too. What kind of tracks are these? Those are weird. We seem to have found some tracks. They don't look human. They're kind of like round, like something has no toes, maybe stepped down. They're like giant rabbit tracks, only like 10 times bigger than a rabbit track. Do you have your measuring tape?
Yeah.
Let's get out the measuring tape and measure those, because if something landed in this area, it may have been walking around too, which means it would have left some kind of tracks in the snow. And some aliens are...
It's all down here, too.
Is it?
It's like it's going
downhill?
The hill.
Let's measure them. I bet you they're all the same size.
Yeah.
Here.
Cut this back.
See if you can find similar ones down there. All right, let me...
Yeah, there's like
8 inches. About 8 inches. Let's measure these ones down here. There's more right here. They all seem to be going downhill a little. Where else are they? Right here?
No, those more look like, well, yeah, like right there too. And down here.
It looked like it fell, like it slid on the snow. Here's some right here. Here they are right here. They're impressions about 8 inches.
Right here.
I don't know what that is, but here's some right here. Let's see. 8 inches. It's something that doesn't have toes, and it leaves about an 8-inch print, which would mean that it's probably about a 4 to 5 foot being. If maybe it landed up here on the hill, and then it walked down so far. Because I've heard of reports and seen videos of alien footage of them actually leaving the ship and walking around.
They could have walked like down there, like...
Something came down this hill, and it left an 8-inch track, and it has no toes. There is no animal that can leave that type of track up here. Coyotes look like dog prints, and rabbits leave about a 2-inch track.
And plus, if it was like some kind of boot,
yeah,
it would have left the boot prints.
Right.
Right there. It would have left,
Yeah,
like the little
divots and all, yeah. It seems to stop. It seems like it only goes maybe about 20, 30 feet, and they stop. And it seems like there's a set of two of them.
There's some right there and down here too.
See, those are rabbit tracks, those little holes.
Yeah.
It's so...
Then there's like there's some big tracks.
Yeah, it seems like something came down the hill, left no tread marks, no toe marks, and they're 8 inches by about 2.5 inches wide. So something with a smaller foot, maybe something 4 or 5 feet tall, but it's not.
But like it.
Okay, so what we need to do is we need to backtrack, and we need to look for where this thing landed. It's got to be close. We got to be close, because something left tracks. I can't identify those tracks.
Go where the tracks ended.
Huh? That's because they would probably have gone in their ship. And if they're extra high, if their minds are sensitive, they could have known they were filmed, and that's why they took off. Because they have, according to a friend of mine, they have technology where they can sense any electronics nearby, like cameras, TVs, phones, things like that. So, but we'll go back up, folks. And I just showed you the tracks. There's only a few of them on the hillside, but I mean, if you look at them, there is something came through here with a child-sized foot, but it has no toes. There is no boots or sneaker markings, so we do have to take that evidence into consideration that maybe the UFO landed, maybe they were doing some kind of scientific examination of this hill or this area. But it is very strange. I do have a second UFO video I took that night. I'm not sure I'm going to release it just yet, but it shows a red object. It zips to the left, and then all of a sudden it glows white and yellow. It's glowing, and it's fairly in the sky, very high up, like it's going off into orbit. So, but once again, we come across the area with the tracks, and there is no boot mark or anything. It's just, they're like these little round tracks 8 inches long, like something came out of its ship. Obviously, aliens probably don't wear boots and sneakers, so it made, whatever was here made some tracks. And this is like detective work. When you're a ufologist, you have to look for everything, every key possible piece of evidence, whether it's tracks, radiation, a burnt circle, burnt brush. I estimate that the object landed somewhere in here, and I think they came down the hillside to do whatever they were doing, and maybe they knew they were being filmed and took on off. As there's more tracks.
Well, it looks like
bunnies.
yeah.
Those are rabbit tracks, but the ones that are 8 inches and flat and 2 inches wide.
I don't know anyone that their feet is 8 inches.
Well, and flat too. There's no toes, which I have heard some aliens have webbed feet, so they don't have toes, and so their tracks are. What is that?
It's a metal piece.
That's heavy. That's a piece of piping. Here, hold on to this. It's not off a UFO or anything, but it is a very heavy piece of iron. Look, there's another piece of iron here. The tracks are only in that one area, and that would be the area. This would be a burnt piece of wood. This would be the area it landed. If I line it up with my house to the hill, somewhere in here, and that might explain the tracks. Maybe it didn't leave a burnt circle, but those tracks I cannot identify. They're not coyote, they're not rabbit, they're not bear. They're flat-footed too.
It could have walked all the way down to the hill where like those rocks were.
Yeah.
And it, like, there could still be like a alien life form.
It could have.
Still on here.
It could have taken rock samples, is what it could have been doing. Like when we go to Mars and the Moon, we take rock samples. They could have been just visiting here, taking samples of the rock and the Earth, and it may not. They may not land. They may stay 10 feet above, and they might have technology just to warp themselves on the ground. The warping technology, like Star Trek, is said to exist, that we could possibly perfect it in 100 years. All it does is split up the atoms and puts them back together. So it's very possible that they just got warped to the ground, took some rock samples, and left those tracks. But this is the area it would have landed, somewhere in this grassy knoll or flat area here.
And we never know, too, because there still might be an alien life form or something that
could be invisible. They could have got dropped off here. We don't know. They have cloaking technology, and humans invented the first cape cloak. We actually invented a cape that you can cloak yourself in, so the technology is not impossible. If you're thousands of years advanced and you know how to build this technology, then anything is possible at this point. But those are tracks. They only exist in that area, and that's the area I seen the object if you line it up with my house.
And it could have walked all the way down. Like, there could be still something, like, whatever was hovering above the ground, or
Yeah,
it could have walked all the way down and, like, be somewhere all over there.
it
Like,
could.
You never know. It could still be down here. And then
It could be hiding in a cave, you know?
Well, all of them are 8 inches, and there's a set of 2. Like there was 2 beings maybe walking side by side. And the snow, that snow is just proof that, it can leave. The snow is what is good to have, because anything that walks through it is going to leave a track, even if it's an alien.
oh wait, that's just tire tracks.
Yeah. Anyways, folks, check us out, www.paranormalghostsociety.org. I want to look at a few other things before we head off. I'll keep you up to date if we find anything else strange in the area. This is